Welcome back into the Dead Arm Sports Podcast. Josh and Jell here. PGA Championship week is here. We are taking a trip down to Tulsa, Oklahoma, figuratively. Wish we were actually headed down there, but we are in our own home studios today recording, but gonna talk all golf today, hit up the Byron Nelson. We'll recap that and talk about how I'm getting my ass kicked in our pick'em.
It is a
trouncing.
It is a trouncing, to put it nicely.
Officially taking me behind the woodshed. It's good to talk a little
Phil you with the 50 states.
Yes. Talk a little Phil, Tiger, give you some betting favorites if you're in one of those lovely states that it is legal, like Jell. And then give our PGA Championship picks. So before we get into all of that fun stuff, I do have a question of the day for you, Jell. It's golf related, just kind of a simple question. I want to know, what is your favorite club in your golf bag?
Certainly not my driver or my putter. I hit my 3-wood usually, like the rare times that I have an opportunity to hit a fairway shot. Especially on if it's a long par 4 or a par 5 and I have, I hit the fairway with my driver and I have an opportunity to break out the 3-wood. I love it. I usually hit it pretty straight, pretty far, far for me. And I just feel like there's something about it. For some reason, I don't know what it is. My swing feels like it's the same. Maybe it's just, I don't know. It's just, I've got a good feel with it. And it's somewhat rare that I shank. I never slice with it. Now this is going to happen. All this shit's going to happen next time I play, where it's just going to be a shit show. But I really like my 3-wood. I hit it pretty straight, pretty well. And, doesn't help me avoid bunkers, but
understandable.
I can hit it straight usually. So if I can hit a club straight, I'm into it. I also like using my 7 for some of the approach shots. That's usually a pretty good club for me too.
That is my favorite club in the bag's my 7-iron. Regardless of how bad I'm playing, if I take that club out of my bag, it's usually going pretty straight, pretty solid distance with very consistent. So it's one of those that if I'm having a bad day out there, I'll just grab it out of the bag and try and get some confidence back and standing over the ball. So it's one of those. Otherwise, favorite shot to hit. You've seen me hit a few of them, is the old DOD, driver off the deck. But,
yes.
Driver usually is another favorite club of mine in the bag, usually pretty consistent with my drives, but I don't know. You got some days where that is just an absolute nightmare too. So I'll go with the 7-iron locked in as the favorite club.
I got to bring up the old 90s putter, or the old 90s driver that I've got in my backup
that I had to use when I was down visiting.
Yeah. You were crushing with that.
Yeah, that's
I'll have to bring that
club.
Bring that up next time I fly up.
Mishicot,
baby.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go put that in my bag now, so I don't forget.
We can be found at Dead Arm Sports, Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on Facebook at Dead Arm Sports. Be the first thing that pops up. We are on YouTube now, not streaming this episode, just we're recording on Monday. So just with how it shows up on Twitter, wanted some content, or shows up on YouTube. Wanted some content for you later in the week, so didn't want it popping up too early. So did record the video. You can watch us on YouTube most of the time. On Monday you'll get a live stream, Wednesday live stream as well. We'll go over our scheduling at the end of the episode, a little life events coming out the next couple of weeks.
Teeny tiny
life event. So we'll let you know the schedule once the episode towards the end of it. But normally we are streaming on Monday and Wednesday. If you want to follow Jell, he can be found at Das Jell. I can be found at Das JPEG. That's at DASJEL for Jell, and at DASJPEC for me. Send us in any questions you have. We'll hit you back during our live stream. Make sure you jump on, ask us any questions. comment on any of the topics we're discussing. If you want a little bit more insight or information on it, more than happy to share that with you. Subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite listening platform. Send us a screenshot of that review. Get you some sticker swag sent out in the mail. Gel, still nursing that hangover, or you got a beer?
It is. It's still some H2O for this big guy.
Same here.
I'm still not feeling 100%.
Yes.
Plus,
this might be our first sober episode from both of us.
I'm pretty sure it is. It has to be. There's been very few that I haven't been. I guess both of us that.
Usually one of us is drinking. But yeah.
No, it was Saturday nights for both of us. One was for a friend's birthday, and one was the Kenny Chesney concert. So pretty good excuse to go ham, I guess. And but yeah, still feeling it. Ibuprofen 2 days later, still not great.
that's how you know you're getting old. You got the old 2-day hangover.
I'm not even 30, man. Damn it. I'm supposed to have another couple of years.
Yep.
Ain't happening anymore.
Not great. Speaking of not great, my pick'em for the AT&T Byron Nelson, Taylor Gooch played like a gooch and shot -3, missed the cuts, and Gel got a few strokes there on me, 16 to be exact. And yeah, you're absolutely raking me over the coals with your pick'em, but
solid 49 stroke lead.
Yes, glad I have a week off to recuperate, and but KH Lee defends his title successfully at the AT&T Byron Nelson, had to fight off some solid play. Jordan Spieth 1 shot back. If he would have hit his approach shot another, 2 to 3 feet on 18, he would have been right up by the pin. So just hung up on that upslope on the rough, had a chance to chip in, but that's a tough shot. You're more than likely not going to chip in from that spot, but had just an absolutely phenomenal weekend in his hometown of Dallas. But KH Lee is a story, just played solid. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about it. Made some clutch pars down the stretch, 16 and 17. And then obviously that par 5, everybody was just torching that. It seemed like it was just birdie after birdie. Hideki Matsuyama with a wedge,
really nice way to close that out, this round out. Like, holy crap. He wasn't really even close to contention when Sunday started. And he ended up making that ridiculous run.
Yep. Xander Schauffele had a phenomenal weekend as well. Just shot absolutely lights out. A couple low 60s rounds to get back into the hunt. Was the clubhouse leader for a while. He posted 23 under, and a lot of the guys were just making the turn. So you knew that probably wasn't going to hang up.
That was the problem, is that he started off Sunday earlier than all the other people at the top of the leaderboard. So it's like he's sitting there like at the top, but they showed the live betting odds for who was going to be the outright winner. And even though he was at the top of the leaderboard at the time, he was through like 16 or 17 holes, and the rest of the guys were through like 5 or 6. So it's like, he's not going to be able to hold on to this. But they showed the live odds, and it was plus 6,600 for him to be the outright winner. And I was like, I'm super tempted to pull the trigger at these odds, plus 6,600. But I was like, wait, I know that I'm just going to be throwing money away at this point. So
Right.
decided against it. But he finished, he went Sunday with an 11 under as well. Lee had a 9 under Sunday, so not too shabby of him. I mean, Spieth went 5 under. And so Lee, with his play Sunday, that's what sealed it.
Yeah. Do you see there's a ton of big names towards the top of the leaderboard? Obviously, you had Xander, Spieth 1 back, Matsuyama, JT was right up there in the 20 under range. Scotty Scheffler is at 19.
Finish. Yep.
So do you see this, a lot of momentum? Do you see these guys having solid performances at the PGA coming up now? This is obviously, with the scores, an ego booster course. This was a fairly easy course for the guys at TPC Craig Ranch, but it can't hurt them, you'd think, going into the PGA Championship this week.
It certainly can't hurt. I just think it's going to be a completely different ball game next week. We saw some of the top score, or the top scores last year. Phil, I think, finished at 6 under, and he won it. So you're talking about a 20 stroke difference between this week's winner and last year's winner at the PGA Championship. So, I mean, Spieth has to be feeling really good going into this next tournament, saying, shit, if I would have won, I would have had this tournament if I had, like you said, on 18, just a little extra, an extra foot, extra couple feet to get above that ridge for an easier putt. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that he can go back and say, well, overall, I played really well. So it can be an ego booster, but they also know they're getting into a completely different ball game next weekend at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Definitely a tougher track at Southern Hills in Tulsa.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You
wanted to touch on Thursday round.
I was just wanted to really quickly mention Sebastian Munoz shot a 60 on Thursday. That's insane. Finished on from hole 9 through 18. He finished eagle, birdie, birdie, eagle, par, birdie, par, birdie, birdie, birdie. So finish like that's
sounds like my scorecard on Tiger Woods golf.
Yeah. Golden tee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably do that if you give me 4 extra, a 4-stroke handicap each hole. Maybe.
I was gonna say I usually shoot 60, but then I go to hole 12.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Phenomenal. And he had a great round. I mean, he was up there in contention too, just a little bit slower Sunday compared to some of these other guys, but he was
and he still finished. He still finished tied for third with Hideki with Matsui. So
yes.
Good finish from him though. Overall, great showing.
Yeah. Yep. It was pretty tough conditions too. It was 90 degrees out. You guys had some power outages down there, and
because of the heat.
Yeah.
Insane. They had to, they sent out a memo to, everybody in the DFW area or anybody in, really North Texas saying, put your AC at 78 degrees and try not to run appliances, especially during peak hours. Which is like 9 to 9 or something, 9 a to 9 p or something. Like maybe you just fix your damn utilities and not privatize everything and, have something that's actually reliable or just, make us all sweat while we're sitting at home watching freaking TV, whatever, either way. But fucking, I don't want to get into it too much of a tangent because I could go on for days.
We'll just say that it's not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
Speaking of not great, Bob, not great Phil, he withdrew from the PGA Championship this week, was set to tee it up and came out and said he was not going to play in it. And you wonder if this is due to the PGA not allowing releases for the first Live Tour event, or if Phil just is trying to dodge the media right now with that unauthorized biography coming out this week, setting up for the same week release as the PGA Championship. I mean, my question is, he done on the tour? Will we see him play another tour event?
It's not going to be this year. At all for sure. Will he ever play again? I don't know. I don't think that's out of the question. I mean, it's not like he's, a young, whippersnapper anymore. He's been on tour for a while and he hasn't, his game hasn't been the same. Obviously he got the PGA Championship last year, but that was his first major win in how long?
Long time.
It's not like he's the same player that he used to be. And he's just shooting himself in the foot with, if he ever wants to come back, there's really not going to be that opportunity. PJ's already said, they wish none of this was happening, but the reality is it is. So I think he's just continuing to shoot himself in the foot. And I guess my question to you is how badly does all of this taint his legacy just around his entire career? I mean, when we think about Phil Mickelson 10 years from now, we'll probably think of, he would make these amazing creative shots, these crazy drop shots and, the way he could bend the ball wherever, however he wanted to. Yes, he was an incredible creative shot type of player. Did win, a number of majors, especially early on his career. But will we think of him more that way, or of this guy was basically set up to, be in the legend status of, all-time golfers? But really he screwed himself at the end of his career. What do you think? I mean, how does this taint his legacy, or does it?
I think it does to an extent. I think his legacy is going to depend on if he comes out and just plays another tour event, deals with the media. You're going to obviously have one heck of a press conference that he's going to have to sit through and answer a lot of uncomfortable questions. But if he can do that, get back onto the PGA Tour, play some events there, this will be a little blip, I think, in his legacy, but it won't be as big of a deal if 10 years from now we're talking about Phil's last tournament he played in was a January event at, what was it? The Torrey Pines, I think, was his last one. I don't have it off the top of my head, but
sounds right.
If he doesn't ever come back on the tour and play another event, which right now, I mean, he's missing his two biggest tournaments of the year. The Masters obviously is a tournament everybody wants to play in, get another green jacket, and then defending his PGA Championship. I mean, that if he's not playing in this one, I can't see him coming back for any of the other events on the tour this year, like you said. So at this point in time, is this him saying, well, I'm not going to play in the PGA and I'm just going to go play on the Super Golf League tour that I love calling it, but I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling. A lot of the PGA players have come out and said that they're still with Phil. If he comes back, they're going to back him up. They'll be in his corner and stuff. And it doesn't sound like there's any really hard feelings on the tour in regards to that. It's just, he's going to have to sit through an uncomfortable press conference wherever he ends up coming back. And if he goes and plays on the Live Tour, he's going to have to answer questions there. It's not going to avoid him at all. So it's just, I mean, he's made enough money on the tour that he doesn't have to play any more golf if he doesn't want to, but he's competitive.
The way the gambling stories are coming out. I mean, he's lost right. 40 million. I mean, he's probably not like gonna be, out here filing for bankruptcy, but certainly down about 40 plus million in these golf losses or these gambling losses.
Yeah, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I was looking forward to him coming back this week to defend his title, but again, we're going to have to sit and wait. And I don't know that this really has that much to do with the Live Tour, because he could still play in the PGA Championship right now and then decide to go play on the other tour the first week of June, and there wouldn't be any repercussions from it. So it doesn't really coincide that much with that, but I don't know what to think.
But I think that you're right. He could do that, but I think that you just know that every time that, any press conference that Phil is in, post round, pre-round, probably every time that he comes up on TV, or at least multiple times when he's up on TV, they're just showing his shots. They're going to be talking about that. That's going to be the focus. That would be the focus on Phil, not how he's playing in this tournament. So I think it all surrounds the Saudi League, just to a degree.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess we also, going back to the legacy question, we all kind of thought there's a chance that all of the, and Tiger's infidelity, his issues with multiple times issues with painkillers in his system when driving, the cheating on his wife, all that stuff. We kind of thought that would taint his legacy, and it has to a degree, but we still think of Tiger maybe not everybody, but he's still certainly my favorite golfer. And when I think of Tiger, I think of more of his amazing golf story than I think of any of the other stuff. And what was amazing about, and thinking about just the comebacks that he's made from injuries, when he won the Masters a couple of years back, that was like the coolest moment in my entire life of watching golf. That shit sent me to tears. So because it's, the redemption story and everything, I wonder if Phil, let's say he tries this Saudi league for this year and decides he hates it, or the money isn't what they were promised, or, he's just like, or that. Do you think if he came back next year and was like, I screwed up, I'm back on the tour full time, and I'm here to, redeem myself because I messed up and I paid the price last year for it, but I'm here to redeem myself and I'm 100% on board with the PGA going forward. You think that would kind of, almost help his legacy a little bit, even if he did go to this Saudi league?
I think it would. I'm just curious on what happens when some of these guys go over. Is Jay Monahan going to actually get his way and they're going to be banned and not able to come back on the tour, or what's going to end up happening with this? We've had reports that Greg Norman last week had come out and said that some of these guys that didn't get releases because the PGA denied them are planning on fighting it in court. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. So it's going to be a long haul with this. And I don't know what to think on it. I don't know the legality of a lot of this, but competition is always good. I'm always going to be a fan of the PGA Tour, but a lot of times competition brings out the best in everything for the most part. And I don't know. I don't necessarily mind it. We're going to get to see some different courses that are going to be played from this tour, get some more exposure to courses that are outside of the United States. I mean, I think one of the events in the beginning of July is going to be held in Portland, Oregon at, I think, Pumpkin Ridge or something like that. So it's getting tournaments in the golf name in some of these areas that the PGA Tour doesn't necessarily go into, and bringing possibly more fans to golf tournaments. So the Pacific Northwest doesn't have a tournament event on the regular tour. The Champions, I think, have a tournament out in, I want to say, the state of Washington that they go to every year, or Oregon. But outside of that, once in a while we see the US Open going up to the Seattle area. But other than that, there's not a lot of golf up there.
I guess that is the beauty of what this league, this new Super Golf League, could bring, is getting exposure to some other courses, because, we all know that there's, Phoenix Open is always at the same course. Pebble Beach Pro-Am, same course. Masters obviously is always at Augusta. So like we are all used to seeing the same courses every year. And that's I really like that, because you can just learn about, you start to learn the courses the more you watch it. So that's really cool. But I also think there's obviously positives in getting some of these smaller, or, lesser known courses that might be state-of-the-art facilities, state-of-the-art courses, some more exposure. So I think that is a cool thing that you'll have the opportunity to see in this other league.
Yeah. Like even with the match, when they go to some of the different courses, like the one was just absolutely gorgeous. The
Big Sky, Montana course.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
You're seeing the mountains in the background. You're seeing the wildlife and stuff. Yeah. It's just really cool to see.
You were literally seeing like rams and stuff on, like when they would do the aerial shots, you could see wildlife. Like that's so cool. You don't see that on most courses. So that was a really nice, that was a good call out there.
Yes. One animal you didn't see there was any tigers, but we will be seeing Tiger roaming around Southern Hills this week. Tiger getting in a practice round yesterday, and he's looking good. He doesn't look hobbled at all on the leg like we saw at the Masters. Leg held up fine there, and he said he's gotten stronger since the Masters. So do you see him in contention at all this week? Obviously, Augusta is one he knows like the back of his hand, but Southern Hills is one he did win the last time it was there, I believe in 2007, and had played there as well in 2001, but it's not a course that you get to play all the time. Again, he's gone for a couple practice rounds, had the screenshot of him, I believe, talking to the PGA Pro, getting all the tips and tricks from him. His first time out there, he had the helicopter overhead tracking him on the course. So
of course,
obviously seeing
Tiger
him
Tiger watches on.
Yeah, but what do you like him at all this week, or do you see him maybe struggling a little bit more here?
I mean, Do I think that he has a chance to contend to win? That's tough. I mean, just because this is going to be such a tough course. And like you said, he hasn't played it that much. If he hasn't played it since '07, that's usually, part of what makes Tiger so incredibly dominant is he's been doing this for so long, especially at this point. He's obviously not in his, athletic peak anymore. So like a lot of these other younger guys. So I don't know. I'm here to, if he's golfing on Sunday, I'm a happy camper. That's really what I'm rooting for. Make the cut. And, just, and maybe if he does look incredible, this is the first time we're going to see him since the Masters, where he looked okay the first couple days. Saturday, Sunday, not so great. If he can get through all 4 rounds, make the cut, get through 4 rounds of golf, I'll be a happy camper with that performance. But do I see him really contending to win? Probably not. At least not seriously. That's just tough.
Yeah, like I said, he's had success there, so we'll see. The temperatures are pulling that up right now, see what we're working with, and it is going to be hot.
What?
It's going to drop off a little bit. We've got 91 degrees on Thursday, 86 Friday, and then 67, 73 over.
Oh, that's a great weekend of
golfing weather right there. So yeah, guys that make the cut. Obviously, that's going to be huge then if it's 91 degrees on Thursday. I think those guys in the morning are going to have a little advantage there, I would think.
For sure.
Out of that heat. So don't have tee times out yet, but that'll be interesting. But no, I like Tiger this week. I think he's going to be, again, I think, like you said, a success for him this week is just making the cut, getting to the weekend and getting up there and maybe getting into the top 10, top 15. I think that would be pretty successful for him. Only have played the Masters so far. And I'm assuming we're probably only going to see him in the majors this year, maybe the Memorial. He usually will play that one if he's healthy. But outside of that, I think that's about it. So speaking of guys with chances to win, Joe, who are some of the betting favorites this week? I always enjoy this segment to see who the odds makers like.
Yeah, right now, no shocker, Scotty Scheffler is the favorite right now at plus 1,100, but he's got Jon Rahm right behind him at plus 1,200. We did see Rahm win at the Mexico Open a couple weeks ago. But we also saw that field, which he was really the only big time star. I mean, Patrick Reed showed up and he was amongst the top, he was a top 10 finisher, if not higher. So what do you think about Rahm being right there, right? Basically almost the same odds as Scotty Scheffler. He's been at the top, really the top. It's been those two guys all season long, more Rahm at the top than Scheffler. In terms of pre-round odds, but we haven't really seen him do it that much outside of this, the Mexico Open with no other huge names there with him. Are you shocked to see him still that, right there with Scotty?
I don't think so, just because he's been really consistent still. He's making cuts. He's going to be in contention on the weekend, or at least playing on the weekend. So I think that's why he's been staying at the top. He hasn't, like you said, he won the Mexico Open the other weekend, hasn't done a whole lot as far as winning this year, but he's still been playing pretty solid golf, just hasn't been bringing home the trophies.
Bringing home the bacon. Yeah. Scheffler at 1,100, Rahm at 12 plus 1,200. And then you've got a bunch of guys that are still under plus 2,000 to win it all. Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa, Cameron Smith, Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, all at that, just under plus 2,000 to win the tournament. So I think that all makes sense. I mean, you got to love seeing all these big names, and you're not going to see when you have all these big names, there's not really going to be, a runaway favorite like there was at the Mexico Open with Jon Rahm opening up at like plus 500 or whatever it was. I mean, these are all such solid players that most of them have been playing really good golf all season. So I'm not too shocked to see, where they're at here, all really under that plus 2,000. Obviously got to get Tiger in here he's in there at plus 6,000. I think that's a little, there's a factor in there of it being Tiger. And so really he probably belongs a little closer to like probably plus 8,000, but Vegas is, they're going to do their thing and they know people are going to bet on Tiger, so they don't have to shell out, as much money if he were to win. But those are the same odds as Bryson, Louis Oosthuizen, and Max Homa. So he probably belongs in that class with them. I mean, we haven't seen Bryson really all year. At least not anywhere near the top. He has not been the same player that he was pre-injury. So hopefully he can kind of get it going this week a little bit. But one other name I wanted to throw at you, unless you had anything on Tiger, anything beyond that on Tiger.
Good.
One other name I want to throw at you, with this tournament being in Tulsa, you always got to look at who the surrounding, Oklahoma State which is probably the best PG or best golfing school in the country, or at least one of the best PGA or golf programs in the country. Ricky Fowler plus 10,000.
I thought you were going to say Taylor Gooch.
Your boy,
fuck you.
Gucci Mane. No, I just want to go back to Ricky Fowler. Obviously, he wears that blaze orange on Sundays whenever he's made the cut.
Which hasn't been recent.
Which has not been happening. But, he wears that Oklahoma State blaze orange. You see him finishing this weekend? Do you see him making the cut, or is it just back, same old Ricky Fowler, really struggling?
Man, that's tough. He played okay the other week. I think he made the cut the last tournament he was out in, but I don't know. He just hasn't been consistent. His driver has been all over the place. I mean, he's been just it's not hitting fairways like he used to. His iron game doesn't look as sharp. Putting doesn't look as sharp. I don't know what's going on with him. He's a fun player to watch. He seems to be a great guy. He's enjoyable to watch, but I don't know. I mean, you give him a little bit of a bump up just with him playing in pretty much the backyard. I'm not sure how far Stillwater is from Tulsa, but I can't imagine too far, but I don't know. Maybe, if there's odds on him
62 and a half miles.
If there's odds for him to make the cut, maybe I'd probably throw something down. But if it was for top 5, top 10,
not a chance. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I say he probably doesn't end up making the cut, just the way that from what we've seen out of him lately.
Yeah, I'm hoping he does. Like I said, he's one of my favorite golfers, but you don't see him as much, and hasn't had much success lately. So since that Waste Management win that seems like it was forever ago now, but
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I want to say 2018.
I think 18 feels right. Yeah, that's brutal.
Not great.
Whole different world.
All right, Joe, you ready to make our picks?
Let's go. Let's get it on.
All right. So if you're new to this, we are taking a week from our locks of the week. We are going to do the same thing that we did for the Masters. So how this is going to work, it's going to be snake draft style. I got first pick for the Masters, so Joe will have first pick today. He'll pick a golfer, and then I'm going to pick a golfer to match up against him, whoever shoots the lowest score relative to par. You get a full point, Ryder Cup style. If it's a tie, half point, and we'll go with what do we do for tiebreaker? Birdies on the final round on Sunday, I believe,
sounds right.
Tiebreaker.
Let's go with it.
Yep. If your golfer doesn't make the cut, that's a big fat 0. So if both of our golfers miss the cut,
Ricky Fowler, number 1 pick,
it's 0. So. And how this works, similar to our locks of the week, whenever you pick a golfer for one of the majors, you cannot use them again. Your opponent can use that golfer, and we can't pick the same golfers as our opponent does for this tournament. Just a reminder, Gel used Shane Lowry, Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Daniel Berger for the Masters. I used Cam Smith, Justin Rose, Louis Oosthuizen, John Rahm, and Xander Schauffele. So the guys that we listed off there, Gel cannot pick those guys that he had already used for the Masters. I can't use my golfers for the Masters. So without further ado, Gel, you are on the clock. Do.
Ding, da, da, ding, da, da, ding, ding, ding. With the first overall pick, Jacob Ellis selects Scotty Scheffler, Oklahoma State, or no, Texas or University of Texas.
All right, figured it was going there.
I had to go with the favorite.
I would have picked him, so he would not have made his way back to you. So
nice, very nice. How much?
All right, I am going to pick another golfer that's big hitter. Has been playing fairly well lately. Just recently got married to Wayne Gretzky's daughter. I'm going Dustin Johnson. So gonna use DJ here. So I like his style of game for this course. Big hitter, been solid on the putting greens lately as well. So I like him to maybe give Scotty a little run for his money here.
Scotty does know. I like it. DJ is he always seems to show up in majors, and he's not. There's something about majors with him where he always shows up. You're running the mill, regular, random tournaments. He's not always on his his sharpest. Maybe it's a motivation thing. Maybe it's. A lot of golfers, same thing with like Brooks Koepka, just dial in a little bit more for these majors than they do for regular tournaments. So I dig the pick. DJ's a baller.
The next pick, I'm going to go to the shores of Ireland, take Rory McIlroy. So he's been playing some pretty solid golf lately. And again, like him for this course. And I think it fits his game pretty well. And yeah. We'll take some Rory action here.
Roar dog.
Dogging.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm into it. Yeah, Rory. I mean, again, one amongst the, somebody that's picked amongst the favorites to win. So good call out there. I'm also going to go across the pond, and I'm gonna get our boy Rick's boy Vic Hovland.
All right.
Oklahoma State grad as well. So figured he's been playing pretty good golf. I mean, he hasn't won yet this year, but he does have 3 top 10 finishes. And I obviously, you got to like having this course being an hour from where he went to college. So yeah, I'm going to go Vic Hovland here.
I like it. All right, you get to sneak around now and start off our third matchup.
I just kind of broke the news a little bit on Brooks likes to get up for these tournaments. Brooks Koepka, and he skipped the Byron Nelson late withdrawal this past weekend, but said, "Look, I don't really, I like to get in before majors. I like to get in my practice rounds where I'm going to be playing." He says he doesn't really practice for your regular weekly tournaments. Him playing in those regular weekly tournaments, he says those are his practice rounds for the majors. So he really gets up for majors, really gets him going. He's going to get in some practice time, some practice rounds at Southern Hills beforehand. I like that. And I'm going to get some Koepka action going on.
Yeah, I like the pick. Just scared me a little bit with that withdraw this last week. I don't know.
Yeah,
so scared me a little bit there to pick him. I was thinking about picking him with my last pick, but I was even toying with it if he came back around to me, but it was hard to pull the trigger on that. It's hard
pull
to
the fucking
grab
trigger,
somebody
boy.
That had the old WD the week before.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he said that he withdrew because he wanted to get in time at
why
Southern
even sign
Hills.
up for that tournament?
No, I don't know.
Place?
I have no idea.
Goofy.
I have no idea.
That's what
I'm just hoping if it's an injury, I'm going to be pissed, but he says it's not. So we'll see. Little risky, but got to risk it for the biscuit sometimes.
Yes, you do. All right. Who do I want to match up with Brooks Koepka? I'm going to say Kevin Kisner.
Ooh, your
Let's go with
boy.
Kiz. He didn't have a great performance this last week, a little minus one miscut at the AT&T Byron Nelson, but he's been hanging around for a lot of the majors this year. He was in contention for a little bit, or at least made the cut for the Masters, played pretty solid there. So I'm gonna use him here in hopes that Brooks doesn't have a great performance, a little injury lingering or something. And then he's Kevin Kisner here to yeah.
All right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with that.
All right. I'm back on the clock now.
Back on the clock, big boy.
All right. Man. All right. I'm going to lock in Eldrick Woods.
You're going. Oh my gosh.
Yep. I'm going to take Tiger here. So like I said, I've been seeing some highlight videos popping up on Twitter. His driver on the range practice rounds, he's looked pretty solid. So he's been playing a couple practice rounds there already. He's flown in, so had success there. Obviously in 07, the defending champion the last time that the PGA was at this course. Yeah, I'll put Tiger in contention this week.
Tiger, all right. I'm gonna go. Then I'm gonna partner him up with one of his boys. And that he paired up with at the Masters. I'm gonna get some Louis going on. Louis Oosthuizen.
Okay.
Finished second last year. Obviously different course, but finished last year in second place behind Phil at the PGA Championship. So we'll see if he can, again, different course, but see if he can get ride a little bit of that momentum. See if he can keep it going. Plus, him and Tiger are boys. Maybe he'll feel a little more comfortable or, real comfortable playing with him.
All right, Joe, who is your last golfer?
Oh, I'm debating on two guys. I'm really debating between like 3 or 4 different guys, but I'm going to rock some Collin Morikawa here. He finished tied for 8th this past week. Finished 4 under on Sunday. So I was debating on saving him for last or later in the season, but for, the US Open, that's kind of the one that I was thinking about saving him for, but hey, got to use him up at some point. Why not now? So a little Maury time.
I like it.
Tuesday.
All right. All right. My last golfer, saved him for last because I knew you couldn't pick him, and it's a guy that has been on an absolute tear. 1 shot off of the lead last week at the AT&T, Mr. Jordan Spieth. So I'm locking him in. Been playing some phenomenal golf, and believe this is the last tournament he has to win for the career Grand Slam. So
wow, that's solid. I guess I didn't realize that. Yeah, because he did win the Open. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah. No, I think Spieth he obviously played just money golf all last weekend. So it's the right time to pick him. He can be pretty streaky, and right now sounds like he's riding a heater. So good. I love it. That's a great pick. I would have grabbed him if I hadn't already used him at the Masters. So good pick there.
Yep. Yeah, that was kind of my strategy for this one. Is I had Tiger and Spieth in mind, knowing that you had already used them previously and couldn't take them, just kind of save them for the end. So
fair.
I was debating.
Justin Thomas the only guy that you on my list. Oh, Hovland and Louis, I guess, were the 2 guys that
I haven't used Hovland yet.
Oh, you had Xander. That's right. Not Hov. I always, for some reason, get those 2 confused. Probably because they're 2 young up and comers that we thought were going to be winning a ton of tournaments and they haven't.
Yes.
Gosh, let's see if he can get her done.
Yes. No, I'm looking forward to it. Scotty Scheffler was one that I was hoping he was going to fall to me. I like him for this tournament, but I'll be able to use him now and can put him in my back pocket since you have already used him. But All right, that will wrap up this episode. We can be found at Dead Arm Sports, Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on Facebook at Dead Arm Sports. Be the first thing that pops up. Check us out on YouTube. We can be found there on video. We do live streams as well, usually on Monday and Wednesday. First episode we record, we live stream, so that way you can hop on, watch us live, answer or ask us any questions that you want about any of the topics we're discussing, or if you have any other questions, more than happy to answer them. You can find Gel at DasGel. It's at DasJel. You can gel with him, or else you can Josh with me at DasJPEC. That's at DasJPEC. Send us in any questions that you have. Subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Send us a screenshot of that review. Get you some sticker swag sent out in the mail. Again, I forgot to mention our PGA Championship matchup does have a beer chug on the line, so you'll get to see one of those on our next.
Hopefully, won't still have the hangover by the time we get that done.
Yes, especially
maybe a different hangover.
Yes, I'll go over our recording schedule here afterwards. So hopefully you're not still hungover. But Joe, where can they listen to us?
Hit us up on Anchor, our presenting sponsor. They allow us to present everything to you guys for free. And we do all of our editing and everything there as well on that Anchor site. So they're both available on the web and via the Apple App Store or Google Play. If you are looking on the web, go to anchor.fm. If you're looking on your phone, just search Anchor into the search bar. They allow us to present this to you for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Pods. Again, that's all free. We will be putting this up on YouTube as well. So make sure to subscribe, rate, and review to whatever your chosen listening platform is. Or if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our channel. You'll be able to get all notifications for all of our whenever we go live, you'll get notifications when videos are released. So make sure you're jumping on that. Just search Dead Arm Sports, and in the YouTube search bar, you should be able to find our channel. When you do subscribe, rate, and review, take a screenshot of that written review, send it to us in the DMs on either Instagram or Twitter at Dead Arm Sports, and we will send you some Dead Arm Sports sticker swag for free.
Absolutely. You got to subscribe to our YouTube page as well, so you can see that fire roaring in the background. Joe's keeping it going like an Olympic torch. So we can, got to check that out. Again, we're going to be on a little bit of a break as far as both of us recording. One of us is tying the knot this weekend. Spoiler alert, that is yours truly.
At DasJPEC. Send them some congratulatory notes.
Yes, but with the wedding honeymoon coming up, we won't have a dual recording with both of us on until after June, probably later in the week after Memorial Day. But Gel any news pops up, might hop on and give us a little gelling episode. I haven't had one of those in a while, so keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, we will be for sure back after June 1st. Break down all the news, get our beer chug bet paid up then. But again, appreciate everybody out there listening. Subscribe on all of our socials, platforms, listening, YouTube, whatever you want. So send us any questions. Yes, everything. All of the above. But appreciate everybody out there. If you could tell somebody you know about the podcast, it does wonders for us, along with giving us a rating as well. Help us jump up on the listening charts. But again, appreciate everybody out there. And Joe, close us out.
The 3 ugliest words in golf. Still your shot. Oh shit, I gotta end this.